So let's start it off on the right foot, or the left foot, if you like, with Foot Locker.
Have a look around the room. You'll probably see a few people wearing sneakers they bought at Foot Locker. It's the world's largest brick-and-mortar chain of sneaker stores, with 2,700 owned and licensed locations in North America, Europe, Asia, and the Pacific. And after 50 years in the business, Foot Locker's got the right sneaker for you. Whether you're an athlete, a collector, or just someone who likes a comfy stride with a side of style. Please welcome to the stage, Adrien Butler.
Great to see you. Thank you, Adrian. I like your sneakers.
Well, I look like you're rocking that campus wear there. I like that myself.
I'm going to give you one guess as to where I got these sneakers. Actually.
I think you got them from Foot Locker.
And I have an experience, and I did. I got them these last week. I'm a past customer as well. But I will tell you that your customer engagement is unbelievable, because I now know that these come in 11 colors. And I feel like I've gotten a reach out to color coordinate, and I'm not much of a stylish kind of person, but I've gotten so many reach outs to think about different color coordination. I picked the ones that match my hair to start, but going forward, I think I'm gonna look into some of the other colors. So, Adrian, thanks so much for being here. Last year, Foot Locker rolled out its Lasa Plan, which was a comprehensive and strategic business plan to transform into a true omni-channel brand. Can you talk about what that means from a CTO's perspective, from a chief technology officer's perspective? How has the technology footprint, and how have you aligned it to meet that business strategy?
Well, first, let me start by saying thanks for having me. And so within that strategy, there's 4 key pillars to it. One of them is around expanding sneaker culture. Foot Locker's been doing this, one of the first and only multinational brands that actually has locations around the world. Second was all around empowering our associates in our stores to actually be able to create the experience in everyday life for our customers, to make sure that the kind of your experience that you had when you bought those sneakers was at a level that actually is consistent across the world. Third is all around kind of hyper-focusing in on our customer. And so certainly Foot Locker historically has been very, very product-focused. But hey, we're dialing in and learning as much as we can about our customer to enhance that experience. And then the last is all around being the best-in-class omni. So if you think about omni-channel and the various channels we sell, we want to elevate that experience. I'd say there are a couple common threads that come through within that strategy. One is all around people and talent, and making sure that we're providing both the tools necessary for what we call our stripers, which are our team members in our stores. They can actually wow our customers every single time, or our colleagues who are in our distribution channels, so they can do that. And the second one is technology. And so we're going through a massive technology transformation within the organization today. And as you think about what retailers do, we do 3 things. We actually buy stuff, so we actually go out into the marketplace and we procure things from our partners. We move stuff. We actually have a very complex supply chain. And then we sell things either through our physical assets or physical stores or through digital channels. And so if you think about that, technology is really important to enable each of those components from our strategy perspective.
Yeah, what are maybe you could talk a little bit more about the role of the tech in this omni-channel and this customer-facing transformation, which has been, obviously quite apparent as a customer myself. What specifically happens behind the scenes, if you will, what's the role of the technology in making that happen?
Yeah, so a big part, and actually I'm assuming one of the reasons I was invited here is actually we chose Oracle to be one of our key partners. Particularly in the buying and merchandising space, as well as we're deploying Oracle Fusion for our finance and then human capital management as well. And so if you think about one of the most important components of actually your selection for the shoe that you chose here, the campus style, is all around making sure we can understand the demands in the marketplace around kind of what are the things that are on trend, what's evolving from a product selection perspective. Then we actually go buy that product. But then from there, we have to both be able to allocate the product to the right doors. We have to be able to price that product, promote that product, have inventory visibility around that product so we can understand kind of what exists in a distribution channel versus what's in the store, right? And so if you think about every step of that journey from when there's an ideation from our partners who are building a product or building a new sneaker or new apparel, there's technology that's behind the scene that then brings that to life for our colleagues and actually allows them to understand kind of, this is how much I should buy, this is what I should price that at, this is basically what the margin should be against that, and all the way through until it gets into a store and candidly, ultimately into your hands.
And so when you launched the Lasa Plan, I'm just curious as to, what the driving force behind it was. Was it something happening in the macro retail industry? Was it a Foot Locker only initiative? And, what was really the driving force to go through such a big transformation?
Yeah, so if you think about, and all of us are probably going through some transformation of some sort in our businesses, right? And actually it's certainly on vogue. It's a great word that a lot of us are using. But part of that is, if you think about Foot Locker, a little bit later this month, actually next week I'll be in Miami, and we're celebrating our 50th anniversary, and we have our what we call our Team Week. And actually it starts with North America, then we'll go to EMEA and to Asia Pacific. And 50 years being in business, there's a lot of lineage and history that comes with that. But also from a capability perspective, ensuring that you keep pace with actually the changing demands of a customer is really, really important. So if you think about where we find ourselves as Foot Locker, kind of obviously the competitive pressures will not change. They actually get more pronounced. As I describe it, hey, our competitors are just as smart as we are. We just got to outwork them, outpace them, and outdeliver them, right? So that's one. Second part of that is, as we look at kind of where we are, we believe, as we describe it in-house, we believe we're the OG of sneakers culture. We believe we created that thing along with our partners, certainly. And so for us, we actually want to return to prominence. Foot Locker has great brand identification. If you were to bring, for each of your own experience, you probably say, oh, I remember going to a Foot Locker. I remember my first experience in a Foot Locker. I remember buying that sneaker and how it made me feel. Ultimately, for us, we certainly want to continue to elevate that in a way, and certainly we're using technology to push tech to the edge with our stripers and our team members and our distribution channels and stores, so they can create that experience. They are based, and from our vantage point, actually our secret weapon, our secret sauce is actually in our team. And then we empower them with data and facts and inventory insights and those types of things. We think that positions us really, really well within the competitive environment.
Yeah, that's good. You spoke about the edge and customer transformation, and obviously you've done a tremendous job. You've been a great customer and partner. And now that you have the foundation in place, maybe just a word or two on where do you see AI playing in the future in your at the customer edge?
Great question, and there's probably a few places I go where I do talks, either inside of Foot Locker with our boards, or with my colleagues inside the building, or when I'm out having an opportunity to speak to groups like this where AI doesn't come up. And if you think about a retail setting, there's certainly those things that are kind of easier where you think about personalization. When you go to our site and how we actually understand kind of your behaviors, the things you care about, and how do we then facilitate putting in front of you the things that actually are most impactful to you. Certainly those are lanes that we're pursuing from an AI perspective. When we think about marketing and using MarTech and actually making sure we're using as much of our dollars for working media versus the production side of it, that's a wonderful place where we're leading in with generative AI, and we think there's lots of opportunities. And then finally, for touch points with customers, when you think about customer care and how we actually interact with them when they may have a problem that we want to resolve, where we can kind of get more instantaneous or more real-time interactions with them, are just three quick examples of places where we believe generative AI has some great efficacy. If you think about, obviously, the things on the pure tech side around kind of things like Copilot for efficiency gains, or how do you think about Copilot for helping our developers to develop code, or other places. And then certainly we've challenged Oracle and some of our other partners to think about how are you thinking about generative AI that we can take advantage of as your customer that actually illuminates and brings to life capabilities within Foot Locker.
Well, that was really a terrific insight. I can't thank you enough for your partnership, and it's really been humbling to see the transformation that you were able to put together with us as a technology partner, and we look forward to 50 more years of great transformation as well. Congratulations on the anniversary. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much. Thank you.